part of my first look at my junk video. He's back again because this time I'm going to go through one slowly and just show you what I've been doing with them. There's the effect I'm aiming for, and this time here it is. Now you can see that's very, very bright red indeed, and it's not quite as bright when I'm not looking at it through the phone screen there. It's a rust coloured primer. There's no benefit to painting it rust coloured. There's a few bits of resin showing through, and resin doesn't really take paint very well at all, so I'll stab that with some brush primer, and yeah, it will just be a similar sort of project to these, except I'll just go through it stage by stage. So this is a nice piece that I've picked out, various bits here, rather splendidly scale electric motor there. There's quite a few scale electric wheels in the first batch. Scale electric motor there. Some sort of cog, some sort of, I don't know what, quite, oh that's a jerry can. Bits of coils of hose, more hose, that's possibly a cannon from somewhere. I'm pretty sure that's a war machine gun, but I'm prepared to be contradicted on that one by somebody who knows what they're doing. And of course a petrol can in there as well. So I'll stab it with some, just get rid of these bare resin, just with some brush primer, and then we can make a start. And here we have the second stage. So I've just splatted brush primer all over everywhere I've missed with the can. It's really not a neat job, but for the time being it just doesn't matter. That's as neat as it needs to be. And if you're wondering if it could possibly look any messier, well, yeah, yes it can. So just a good ground covering of burnt umber. It's not 100% covering the primer in all places, but I'll probably give it another slop some more on when I've base coated the rest of the stuff. Right, this not particularly pleasant sight is the base coat's done. So here I've saved quite a bit of time over my original approach, which was that I'd, for example, if this barrel's going to be green, I would have painted it a mix of green and on brown, burnt umber, the same colour as I'd used for the final one. Same with the yellow. So instead, these are all flat earth, and it's just that mid-range tone that's basically going to look about the same once I've covered it in ink. The yellow is green-brown from model colour, and that'll just look kind of yellowish once it's covered, and then I'll highlight it with a proper colour. So that's really what I've done with them all. So ultimately the dark grey stuff's going to end up being black, grey stuff can be wood, can be mid-grey, obviously this could be yellow, a lot of this will be rust, but these here, you know, can be other colours as well, because it's basically looks the same. I'll probably illustrate it better with the on the older piece, of the completed pieces. So here on the first stage, if you look at the final colours, that's what I used as a base coat. So I mixed up yellow and burnt umber, blue and burnt umber, green and burnt umber, and it's just a bit more effort because once I really hammered it with a strong tone wash, basically everything looked brown. So this time, saving a bit of time, everything does look brown. So I'm hoping I'll get through these a little quicker, you know, just lessons learned from having done one batch. And there's a couple of washes later, we have this. So pretty much everything, or possibly the whole model, I forget which, has a brown wash, and then the very, very dark grey areas, that happens to be German black highlight from Penzer Races. They've got a black wash as well, so this is really my substitute black colour. Again, I don't want anything too stark, I want everything to be a bit washed out, a bit desaturated. I don't know what else to say really, it's just obviously done the usual wash thing and brought everything into nice relief. And perhaps that's worth noting, I've been umming and ahhing about using that rust red primer just because everything gets covered, but that's got a good justification from it. There's no where to hold it really, you know, it's just a terrain piece, so I have been rubbing off the paint there, and if I rub off the paint then I get a bit of bonus rust, so that's a happy little accident for me, and yeah, I'll continue to use that for the remainder of the project. Let's get some highlights on. And now to start the highlights, so I've done very carefully and making sure very hard not to pick out extra stuff, I have basically just dry brushed not quite the whole model in buff. So I've leaked onto the barrels there, I've completely wiped out all these hoses and bits of that. It just doesn't matter. So I mean, the first stage of most of this is I'll recover it with its expected colour. Obviously some of the things, the barrel and possibly the gubbins here, I'm not even going to paint the colour they are at the moment. But it just gets that earth in, and it just gives it, it's starting to take shape a little now. So it's a massive earth with little bits poking out. And if I've slipped over with my dusty colour or any rusty colour, it's fine, it's a junkyard, it's dirty. There's perhaps more evidence on here, so you know, I made a bright pig's ear of the tyres, but I can just sort of black those out again, and you know, I'll probably even just dry brush with the very dark grey, and that'll bring back most of it, and then there might be a little bit of dirt underneath it. Again, supposed to be dirty. This is what I'm enjoying about this project. There's this sort of freedom to it. You know, you don't have to be super precise like you're painting a miniature or anything like that. You can just get on, slop some paint on, and just have a good time with it. I'll do some more precise painting next. I'm part way through recovering some of the highlights. So I've highlighted the blackish stuff and brought the hoses back, just recovered them from that quite brutal dry brushing. And the yellow as well, so that I knew what it was going to be, and then this gives me a chance to sort of decide on these bits. This I'm going to leave as rusty, and that, because it's surrounded by orange, I'm going to do blue, and I'm going to do quite a lot of blue on the rest of the batch as well. So anything apart from one where I've already done a yellow one, any outstanding oil drums, basically, if there's one, I'll do it blue. If there's not one, if there's more than one, I'll do one blue and do the other another colour, probably green. And it's just about that balancing the you know, balancing the colours, and blue and orange being good opposites on the colour wheel. Am I overthinking this? Very likely, but we'll see how it goes. And here we are at the end. So it's a simpler job than last time, so I haven't undercoated that one blue. And yeah, it's just generally just all gone a bit quicker, a bit smoother. I've learnt a few things, and yeah, it's still, you know, it looks better from 3 feet away than it does under the unforgiving gaze of a camera, but I'm happy with it. And yeah, one more to go. I'll get them done and get back to you. But in the meantime, well, thanks very much for watching. Thanks for your attention during what's a longer video than usual. And yeah, hope your projects are going well. Hopefully speak to you soon. Ta-ra now.